So, Jaffe, does the PERQUE Endura PAK Guard help in reducing elevated glutamate that's already present? Because we know that there's recycled glutamine and it'll prevent extra glutamate from collecting or accumulating. But would it also reduce the elevated glutamate if somebody has that?
Well, here, let me point out something that most people don't seem to be very aware of. Glutamate, the amino acid glutamic acid known as glutamate, inside the cell, is essential. It's a switching molecule. It allows basic metabolism of the cell to exist. So why are we worried, and we should be, about glutamate as an excitoneurotoxin? Well, because if glutamate builds up outside of nerves, then it does become too exciting to the point where it's an excitoneurotoxin. And why would glutamate build up outside the cell? There's only a few reasons. A lack of magnesium to buffer the acids of metabolism, a lack of choline and citrate to keep the mitochondria and the battery of the cell functioning. Yes, if you have enough ascorbate antioxidant based on your C-cleanse, if you bring your vitamin D level up correctly and you have K2 and D3 in multi-supplements, if your B complex is sufficient to keep your urine sunshine yellow, if you're well hydrated, all of these, each and all of these are helpful. So what we want to avoid is the bad glutamate, and the question is, if you use recycled glutamine, will that lower the extra glutamate outside of the cell that is still too acidic and lacking in magnesium and the other things I mentioned? So while I would like to tell you that you can lower the bad glutamate outside the nerve using recycled glutamine in the gut, the reality is it repairs the gut, it energizes the enterocytes, it does not correct the excitoneurotoxin excess of glutamate outside the cell. You correct that by alkalinizing based on urine pH, by following the C-cleanse for enough antioxidants, by having enough B complex to keep your urine sunshine yellow. And very often you do need some micellized CoQ10 in rice bran oil with some tocopherols. That allows a jump start or a rehabilitation of the mitochondria. And then another point that reinforces everything else I've said. When the battery of your cell is not functioning well, ascorbate, vitamin C, is the only molecule that can salvage it. So there are 4 stations in the chain of producing energy in the battery of the cell. And CoQ10 is the shuttle that brings the energy from station to station. The 4th station has a very large electrochemical gap, and forgive me for being technical, but it's an important point. Only ascorbate can donate an electron across that biological gap, and when you have enough ascorbate based on the C-cleanse, you can actually restart the battery of the cell. When you have enough magnesium and choline citrate, you have the proton gradient that allows the battery to give the cell the ATP molecule, but also an acid proton. And now you have enough magnesium in the cell to kick the acid out without the battery shutting down. So the battery of the cell needs an alkaline gradient. That's what the magnesium choline citrate provides. And very often it needs to be salvaged using micellized CoQ10 in rice bran oil and or ascorbate based on the C-cleanse.